Hey, 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 guys. Guess what time it is? Oh, shoot. Dog just noticed I'm talking. I'm going to learn. If there was a way to do a live without talking, that might actually work. Okay, one dog down. And so, hey, we got a whole makeup discussion going on in chat. Okay, would you guys stop it, please? Please. Yeah, they're like, oh, it's time for food. Oh, my God, gang. I swear, and you know what? Trust me, I have considered I could put them in another room. Yeah? The problem is they would find their way out of that room and come and scratch on my door like crazy. So today's choice of treat, Milo's chicken meatballs. Yes. They're not exactly what they love, but hey, it'll work. I'm not giving them my Cheetos. My Cheetos are mine. That's where we're leaving it right now. So, hey, we have been having fun. Okay, we've been in there. Mama Jane comes in all serious and we're answering her questions and all that. And then Siren pops in. Next thing you know, we are talking about makeup. And last night's awesome 15-minute makeup challenge. For those of you who did not get a chance to check it out, go check it out on his channel. He's going to do more. He just said here in chat that he is going to do another one. Basically, everyone was given 15 minutes to do their makeup any way they want to. I will be honest, I think the guys actually have a little extra push on this one because us girls kind of have makeup set in our head as to what it should look like, while the guys just have a blast. So much. Oh my God, I love it. So yes, we got to get more. And I do think we got a couple people here, right here. Panel dude, that could work with you. And Frank, of course. We all know Frank's got the makeup stuff down. Totally down. So, hey, anyhow, guys. So we'll let everyone start working their way in. And then we'll get started on today's subject. Don't you think so, Elizabeth? I think Frank would be perfect. Okay, raid someone else's makeup. Oh, yes, got the nails being actually. Hey, stop it. Oh, my gosh, someone likes the treats so much they're growling at another dog. See, welcome to my life, I swear. Right now, I got dog toys all over the room thanks to these dogs. So, anyhow, it has been a fun week. Got back from Disneyland. I think, started getting caught up on sleep. Not sure on that one yet because I've been way too busy this week. Saw 2 movies. Saw Fantastic Beasts on Monday or Tuesday. I forget what day of the week that was now. And last night, I saw the new Doctor Strange movie, which was good. The number of, if you're into Marvel and stuff, the number of Easter eggs in this, oh my gosh, every couple minutes it was like, oh my gosh, look who that is. Yeah, we were a little geeking out. Yeah, just slightly geeking out. So anyhow, let's say hi to some people here. Like I said, dear Mama Jane was first on in, and we were talking about the question of the day. She's the only one who answered the question of the day but me. And talked about reading and how she does that to help focus on her own mental health. Okay, to me, it's these muttlets who right now are not helping my mental health. They're actually giving me more of a headache. So, but it's always like, no, yeah, I promise, panel dude, no spoilers. Trust me. We came out of the movie theater last night and we're in the entryway and we're just like, oh my gosh, yeah, can you believe this happened? And we're like, oh shoot, maybe we should get the hell out of here before we start talking and ruin it for someone. Cassie, would you stop it? So, thank you, Elizabeth. I look forward to Fridays. And right now the great news is, I thought I was only going to have a couple Fridays set before I had my next show to do. I was going to be stage managing for Spamilton, which was a parody off of Hamilton. Well, they have postponed the show, which means I'm free now for a few weeks. I've already heard rumors people are going to be asking me to cover another show instead, and I'm like, no. I like this. I like having some days off right now. I really like having time where we can just come and hang. We could do some talking. We can have cantina. The best part is just having ourselves a little cantina afterwards, and I am set for that after this today. But of course, for us to get to cantina, we got to do the hard stuff first. We got to take a look at our mental health subject for the day. We've had some good ones out there this week. Siren actually did a great live the other day on hate bonding. Something that I think a lot of us, we deal with so much drama, so much crap on the internet lately and YouTube and all. And it's important to understand these things. Whether or not we feel like we're falling into part of the behavior ourselves, I think it's nice to see it and understand what it is so we maybe can recognize when we ourselves find ourselves being touched by it. So, did I miss Darren come in? I did miss Darren come in. Hey, oh, Darren, you'd love to do the makeup chat. Oh my God. If we could get a whole bunch of the guys doing Siren, make it happen. Make it happen. And also, I think it'd be fun. It'd be fun. The makeup stuff is definitely fun, especially, I'll be honest, guys don't realize this. Us girls do not always feel comfortable with makeup to begin with. We see other people, like I hear people doing, all these different things, whether it's a wing or, different types of things. I can't do it. I don't know what I'm doing. So I love it when I can see people do and play around with it. And what I love with what Siren does is it's not necessarily beauty makeup. Not that I have much on today anyhow, but it's more just about expressing yourself one way or another. Okay, paint, whatever, however you want to call it. So anyhow, Mama Jane, love you, and followed up by Siren, who popped on in after that. Love you, my dear. Sorry I screwed up time zones last night, and yeah, I was supposed to be part of it, and yeah, I kind of forgot 2:30 in the morning Friday. Eastern time zone is kind of Thursday here. Yeah, it didn't work out well. So anyhow, and then Frank popped up in here. And what would life be without our Frank? I mean, Frank's got to have someone, oh my gosh, without Sleuth around for a while, what are you going to do? Who are you going to, I'm sure we can find someone you to pick on. Yeah. And I love this group. Oh my God, I'm having fun. And also, who else? Panel Dude. I was so happy when I saw your name pop up to see you here. Hopefully we'll see you also in Cantina after this, I hope. And actually, Cantina, so you guys know, will be starting an hour, 52 minutes from now. So if any of you guys get tired of the mental health stuff and want to come back, that's what we'll be doing that at. Let's see, who else do we have here before we get into our subject for the day? Elizabeth. What would, torment you, Elizabeth? Oh my God, Elizabeth, yes. Hey, I got to have another gal in the room right now, okay? We're overtaken by guys. Have you noticed that? Okay, some of us are single. Okay, never mind, moving on. Also, oh my God, and PJ's here. Hey girl, hey, we are getting there. Yeah, Sleuth is gonna be gone for a while, but she gave us tons of material that we can play as premieres and still come together and torture each other that way. Hey, that works. So, okay, so when I sat down, I was like, okay, again, every Friday, what the hell am I going to talk about? What is it we're going to do? It dawned on me that May is actually Mental Health Awareness Month. Surprise, surprise. That made it easy to come up with a subject for today. I was like, come on, we've talked about anxiety, we've talked depression, we've talked about so many things. Do I look at certain subjects? Do I look at like bipolar? Do I look at all these different things that are out there? And there are a lot of things I want to cover at some time or another, but it dawned on me, this is a great time. The same way for missing people, we were talking about Indigenous people yesterday and the rest of the week. This is the kickoff of a month where we all should be looking at our mental health. We all should be day in, day out. We live day in, day out. We get frustrations, we get anxieties, we get all these things. But how often do we take a step back and really look at it from the point of mental health as compared to mental illness. And that's something I wanted to address today, is so many times we are looking at everything that we're doing on an illness level. Okay? Oh, I've got anxiety. Oh, I've got depression. Oh, I'm bipolar. Oh, I'm whatever the things are. There's so many. I've got sad. I've got, okay, all these different things that could be going on. Hey, everything true crime, my dear. We all look at it from the illness side. And I think sometimes that is what gives mental health and mental illness such a negative connotation. Because when you start seeing things in terms of illness, it automatically makes it something that people are like, oh, I just hope I don't catch that. I hope I don't get that. Okay, it's like arthritis. I hope I don't develop arthritis. Okay, things start becoming a more, I don't want it to come near me. When in reality, a lot of the things that we see as issues that take part with mental health. Anxiety, all of us deal with anxiety issues. At one time or another in your life, you've dealt with anxiety, yeah? At one time or another, I'm sure every one of us here in this chat right now have had to deal with depression. Different levels. Okay, and that's something to be important to remember. There are always different levels, but we all deal with it. And I think the problem over the years is we've run into so many times where people have not wanted to address mental health because of the illness side. If you tell your friends, family 15, 20 years ago, oh yeah, I'm dealing with depression right now. Oh my gosh, you never wanted to say that because people were going to judge you for that. Okay, I'll never forget the first time someone told me, what is the difference between diabetes and depression? There's still issues within your body. Depression is literally issues dealing with serotonin, things, all sorts of, there's medical reasons behind it when you're talking clinical. But all of us deal with depression, but then the problem came, think of it. You didn't even want to address regular everyday depression because of the fact that people might see you on this other. It made no sense. So many people fought this day in, day out. They did it on their own. Okay, they never truly are able to help themselves get better because they're so embarrassed. You didn't want to go to your doctor and say, yeah, I've been really feeling bad. Maybe I had suicidal ideation one day, or maybe I did this, or maybe I did. You didn't want to say that because you'd be labeled. Okay, labels can just drive you crazy. And yeah, exactly everything true crime. You would never, ever tell a cancer patient not to receive treatment. However, how many times do we hear from people, oh, don't take this medication, don't take that medication? Okay, because a lot of times, honestly, each of us react differently. When you're dealing mental health and depression and anxiety and all, we all react differently to different kinds of medications. Okay, and one that works for one person may not work for another person. But we all kind of compartmentalize ourselves into the way it worked for us is the way it works for everyone. So it becomes this full struggle. It really does become a struggle that we deal with every day. Yeah, everything true. So waking up out of sleep, panic, yes. And worse, because you'd be waking up in panic attacks or something, you didn't want to sleep. So it starts affecting mental illness, then starts affecting your mental health. If a person is struggling due to things such as a panic anxiety disorder or a depression or bipolar or, okay, borderline personality or things like that, okay, it starts affecting the day in, day out mental health of that person. The greatest way to think of mental health is look at the side of not mental health, but physical health. Okay, you've got some people, we all have our physical health to watch, right? Okay, some of us have things that affect our physical health. I've got arthritis. I was at Disneyland and it was killing me, my knee to walk. So my arthritis was affecting my physical health and my physical well-being. Was I able to walk as much without hurting? No. So because I was hurting so much, I found myself not walking as fast, or I would take shortcuts, or I'd rest a little bit more. And over time, that can affect physical well-being. You find it affecting, okay, your cardiac side, your heart, things like that. Same thing, mental health, mental illness. Okay, these things, they are related, but they are also separate. A person, all of us have mental health, but not everyone has mental illnesses. And even within mental illnesses, something you may have does not mean you have it the rest of your life. And that's what we're going to talk about, some of the myths surrounding mental health and mental illness. Okay, and yes, everything true crime, you just hit it on the head. Okay, so let me see if I could come up here and do both sides at once. Okay, doctor told me some medications for mental illness can take a couple weeks to months to work, and that's the hardest part. A lot of times we are in a society, we want everything to happen like that, yeah? Okay, so we'll take an antidepressant or something like that that needs to build, okay, Siren probably knows this better, can explain it much better, but it needs to build up in our system. It needs to start working its way through. We give up on it before it's had a chance to do anything, right? Or we drop it real quickly rather than allowing it to work its way out of our system slowly. So there's so many things, but that's also the same way in even physical. I have, for example, there's certain things you can put on your knees or your arthritis. It takes a while for it to really work the way it should work. And so it's important to be recognizing that, but the problem comes here, where for decades people have talked about the physical side of physical health. Oh yeah, you're taking that medicine for arthritis. Remember, it's going to take a while to get going and all that. Because we don't talk about mental health and mental illness, we deal with it on our own. Oh, you know what? I've been on that medicine for anxiety for, it's been a full 3 days already. I haven't felt anything, so I'll just quit. Well, of course it hasn't worked yet. But because we're not talking with people, we're not comfortable talking about this yet. And we're coming around. We are coming around. I mean, the idea, I'll be honest with you guys, let's put numbers into chat. Everyone loves doing that. Put a 1 in chat if you think you could have seen yourself 10 years ago, if YouTube was like this 10 years ago, that you would have come into a chat where we were talking openly and honestly about mental health, and you would have gone in there and answered questions and been open and honest about your own mental health. Put a 1 in chat. Put a 2 if you'd be like, oh, maybe I'll listen to it, but I'm not going to say anything out loud because guess what? Someone that I know might see my name there, and if they see my name there, oh shit, it's going to spread out this word. There you go. Siren, yep. Here, so some of you guys feel very good and comfortable with it, which is amazing. I started actually, you guys, hey, come on. I started a lot of my journey because of abuse issues and stuff like that when it was early 2000s, okay, late 1990s, early 2000s. And I did, but I wasn't really thinking about it at that time. It was just coming into that thing where I felt kind of comfortable, but I also felt like no one that I knew would have found me on the internet back then. No one was going to know that I was in that forum on Delphi talking about abuse or things like that. Now I know there's a pretty dang good chance. Hell, I've got good friends of mine here in real life, here on the islands, who watch my channel at times. I know they know what I'm talking about. That's something I never would have felt comfortable doing a couple years ago. So we are getting better about it. We are definitely getting better about it. It's just taking time to get everyone feeling there. So what I wanted to do first, couple different levels here, okay, with mental health. As we start looking at this coming month, okay, and things that we can start doing for ourselves, I wanted to talk about some of the myths about mental health, because there are still a lot of myths out there that, whether because everyone still says it or because we were told it so many times in a row growing up, we still believe it. So I wanted to address that. And the first one being, mental health problems are uncommon. I think I can honestly say for the first time in my life that the majority of the people that I know have some sort of mental health issue they're dealing with. It's amazing. I used to think I was one of the few people who was dealing with maybe depression or anxiety or problems sleeping at night because of stuff or whatever. I thought I was one of the few. But now I'm realizing the people who sit there and say they have no problems whatsoever and they don't deal with any issues about, and they're completely 110% mentally healthy and nothing there, no little demons they're fighting or things like that. That's the minority. And it helps in a way, because for the first time you start realizing I'm in good company. I'm not alone. Because there's nothing more horrible about mental health than feeling like you are the only one dealing with all these issues and you have to solve it all on your own. So that's the first one, is just recognizing you are not alone. There are other people. How many times you get talking to someone? I was talking to someone on the phone this morning and we were talking about mental health issues. And it's like, oh yeah, I dealt with this earlier and I dealt with that. And for the first time in my life, I'm finding myself having no problem saying, yeah, you know what? Especially back in the early 2000s, I had major anxiety issues I was dealing with and stuff like that. And I'm not anymore. I still fight it at times. I kind of come and go. And because one of the myths we're going to look at here is, you know what? When it comes to mental health, things go up and down. Same way your body does. One day, my arthritis, I don't feel a thing. The next day, I'm limping. It's the same thing here. Next is people with mental health conditions can't work. Okay. Oh my gosh, you've got social anxiety. Oh, I bet you can't work. Oh, you can't do anything. No, the majority of us are working. The majority of us are actually out there doing a job. Now, we may have to look at different types of jobs. If you're someone who has major social anxiety, for example, okay, and you're an introvert on top of it and things like that, you may have to look for certain types of jobs, but we do that in everything else in our lives, yeah? We're always looking at what we have to do, but it doesn't have to hold you back on work. It really doesn't have to hold you back. You find ways to be able to make the most of who you are and what each of us have the things that make us special, the things we're good at, the things God's gifts to us. Yeah, each of us have God's gifts that we're supposed to use, and we find ways to do that. Next, mental health problems are permanent. I believed this at the beginning. I believed this when I was in my 20s. I truly felt, because I was dealing with depression, I would always be dealing with depression. I would always be taking antidepressants. I would always be triggering on this or that. We think that that's going to happen for the rest of our lives. And that's not the way it is. I don't take any antidepressants or anything right now. I've come to the place in my life that I don't. Now, does that mean I might have to again at someday in the future? Hell yeah. Okay, because our health changes as we go through things. Life changes. Okay, what if all of a sudden right now I'm living a very stable life? Okay, someday in the future, God forbid, I'm going to lose my mom. And I guarantee you I'm going to go through a fucking horrible time dealing with that. And I might find myself reaching out, realizing that some of the issues I had to deal with when I was younger come back. Okay, for those people who may have actual childhood abuse, childhood issues in any way, or any type of traumatic thing, you may be totally fine and you smell a certain smell and all of a sudden you're triggered for a couple days. Those things happen. Does that mean that you've lost all the progress you've made? No. You've still made the progress. What you're doing is you're finding ways of dealing with it and moving forward. And so those problems aren't permanent. They come, they go. Okay, and things change. Even your body. Those of us who have been, I am looking at chat right now, have been on antidepressants, for example, know something may work with you perfectly, then all of a sudden it stops working. Our body changes. What we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis changes. So next, this was the biggie. This was the biggie. Mental health problems are a sign of weakness. This was the 80s. This was the 70s, 60s, when no one wanted people to know that they had a mental health problem that they were dealing with on a day-to-day basis because people saw it as a weakness. I don't know how many times I remember my mom telling me or my dad telling me at one point, don't let people know that you've got, that you're dealing with some depression right now because it could affect your career. It could affect this. It could. Now here I am 15, 20 years down the road, and we're reaching this place where we're starting to come to understanding that no. Because so many of us already have these things that we're dealing with. How many people are dealing with depression or have dealt with depression? How many people have dealt with social anxiety? How many people might be bipolar is another one I hear about a lot, okay? I also hear a lot about borderline personality. There's a lot of things that we hear about regularly that years ago no one would have even hinted that they were dealing with. But what's the difference between that and them having diabetes or high blood pressure or something like that? So, Elizabeth, yes, you see a certain picture and it sets you off and you have a rough day or two. But this is what this channel is about, and so many other places, is we know it's a journey. I remember when I started, one of my a good friend of mine and I started a Delphi group for abuse. And we called it, Survivor's Journey, because it was a journey. And then there was also Healing Horizons. And the idea was we're always on this journey. Okay, and like any journey, you have your rougher parts. You've got your easy parts. When I was at Disneyland, some parts were amazing and I loved every moment of it. Other parts, I was in tears. Okay, because something happened or whatever. That's what life is. That's what our mental health is about. And that's why months like this are so important, because it's reminding us that we need to be looking at ways to deal with mental health. And so hello, Robin. And so next one coming up, I've never actually had to deal with or anything, but I've heard of. Okay, people with mental health problems are violent. And I think the reason behind this is Hollywood. Okay, one of the things you hear a lot of people talk about is dissociation. Okay. Dissociation was one thing that we all thought only happened to a group of people. Well, we're now realizing there is a whole spectrum of dissociation out there. A lot more people involved. I forget what the numbers are, but I was reading an article about it once, and the numbers of people who actually have some level of dissociation are much higher than what many people thought it was. Well, the problem is people started, according to this article, people were talking about how people with dissociation often would not want to let people know, hey, Missy, let people know or anything, because dissociation was combined with multiple personality disorder. The problem was multiple personality disorder. If you were looking in Hollywood, is there ever someone who has multiple personality, or DID it's called now, that was not a villain or something like that? Okay, well, now we get some superheroes like Moon Knight and all that. Okay, but there was always this tie between something like that and violence. You deal with someone who at one time, okay, something like bipolar, people would have started, even though it has nothing to do with it, people would make these connections with things. And it's just like, it was all due to what they saw on TV. And I think that's one of the main reasons why we have this. Very often, the only time back in the 70s, 60s, 80s, that time period that you would hear about mental health issues were when you had a villain on a TV show, or you heard about someone who killed a family or did something like that. And then, of course, they had mental health issues. So it all got thrown in there. Hey there, Mrs. Portland. Love you, my dear. Love you, love you. And so this idea that mental health problems meant violence became common. And it is so far from the truth. Again, think about it. We were just talking about this a few minutes ago. I'd say 90 to 95% of the people I run into deal with some level or another of mental health issues. Depression, anxiety, social anxiety, all those things. So, hey there, Gold Star Mom. Oh, thank you, Mrs. P, for sending her over. Thank you. And so next myth I wanted to talk about is kids, because this is where it starts. Okay, most of us here come from a generation where they were just starting to open up about mental health. But in general, the idea was mental health was something that only happened to, okay, real sick adults, okay, out there. No, children do deal with mental health issues. How many people have children at home, okay, that are dealing with social anxiety, that are dealing with depression? And then when you hit to those teenage years, you're told, oh, no, it's just teenage angst. It's teenage angst, that's all. Hey, Savage. And because of that teenage angst, what did we lead into? We lead into more and more issues where people are judging those teenagers and saying they're not being taken seriously at that point. Okay, you just got to grow up. You'll get over it once you grow up. No. And many of us are from the missing kids area. We talk about things such as runaways. How many times do we think that maybe some of these runaways are running away because no one is taking their mental health issues seriously? We are not giving them the credit that they deserve, that they are going through a lot of stuff at that age. So yes, children do. Yeah, you have social anxiety. You're just called shy. You're just called shy. You'll get over it. The problem is you're told you're going to get over it, but no one ever helps teach you the tools that you need to do it. Because again, mental health was not accepted back then. Now we help our child. When we notice we have a child who is dealing with issues, We're helping them. We're trying to see what we can do to help them with that. Give them the tools so they can move forward. And they will be more prepared as they get older and have to deal with these things. Another mental health myth is that if you got mental health issues, if you're having a bad day, if you know what, you're teary that day, you're feeling like you just want to run away into the privacy of your bedroom or something like that, snap out of it. Come on, stop being ridiculous. Just snap out of it. You can do it. Okay, as if that's all it takes. Well, you know what? That is not what it's going to take when you've never been given the tools to be able to do that. Those tools have to be taught. Okay, and that's the thing. That's why it took, back when I was in my 20s is when I was working on these skills. Okay, and I still find sometimes the skills work for me, sometimes they don't. There's sometimes no matter what. Okay, back last November, I had to go into my Discord because I triggered one night. I don't know what set me off. I was watching some Korean soap opera and something triggered in me, and I had to go in there because, yes, I have all the skills and everything, but I needed the support of people. And that's what's so great about this whole thing. When people stop being embarrassed about mental health, we can start going to each other. We can have friends we can trust. And yes, you can. Yeah, Mrs. Portland, it happens to all of us. I found myself very triggered. And yes, I had all the things. I could color. I could sit there and do aromatherapy. I could do all my grounding techniques and all. But you know what? The best thing in the world was I went into the Discord and I just typed out, guys, I don't know what's happening. Something's triggered me. You know what? Just writing those words, knowing that someone else was going to read them and I wasn't alone. You know how much that helped? It didn't matter whether anyone else actually replied. It was awesome that people did reply. But that was what was amazing is I didn't feel alone, because a lot of times the mental health side, at least for me, the feeling of being alone is the worst thing in the world. Journaling, yes, Mrs. Portland, one of the greatest things. I know earlier Mama Jane was talking about what she does, and she mentioned journaling, and I'm like, something I gotta, in fact, I've got some things that we're gonna do in Discord this week if anyone's interested, based off of journaling. Next is only medication can help mental illness. Okay, gang, medicine is good. Many of us need medicine. There was a time I needed antidepressants. There was a time I needed them. No shame. No shame. You know what? There was a time that my family member who was diabetic needed insulin. Is there shame there? So no shame whatsoever. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I don't need the meds right now because I'm at a good place. Now, 3 years from now, will I need it again? Possibly. When the day comes that I lose my mom? Possibly. Something else happens in my life and I feel like I've lost control over things? Possibly. But you can help yourself by coming up with skills, grounding skills, ways to help recenter yourself, ways to refocus, learning how to, if you see yourself starting to get upset, taking a step back and taking a break, thinking things through until your mind kind of clears. All of us have these ways that we can do those things. They don't all depend on medication. Medication are a help. It's like diabetes. I keep going back to diabetes. Diabetes, hopefully you're learning. Watch your sugar, carbohydrates, watch all these things for your insulin levels. But you know what? For some people, they need the extra help. Good night, Catlin. Love you, my dear. And last of the myths I wanted to mention was mental health problems don't affect me. Well, as I said a few minutes ago, I think, in all honesty, 95% of us, if not almost 100% of us, deal with some sort of mental health issue at one point or another. Whether it's a diagnosed issue or not is a different issue. But I almost guarantee that every single one of us here at one time or another has dealt with anxiety. We've dealt with feeling blue. We've felt that feeling of nervousness before giving a speech or something like that, that almost became overwhelming. That's what mental health is also about. Mental health is the well-being inside our head, inside our brain, the same way physical health is the well-being and the balance within our body. And so taking a look at that, there's certain things I wanted to, you guys know I don't like to just sit here and come up with different things and talk about all those things. I want to give people things to look at, things they can work on. So how can you recognize if your mental health is declining? All of us know here in this YouTube land, okay, really quickly, we can be here and something happens and we find ourselves down here. The problem is, can we catch ourselves before we do get down there? Okay, how can we recognize these things? Okay, maybe you are at home with your kids and you're having a great time and you start feeling things starting to trigger. Something's starting to change in you. How can you start recognizing it? Because I don't know about you guys. I find myself, if I can catch things early, it's easier to stop it. And, a lot of people with their edibles, Mrs. Portland, a lot of people, I have not tried them myself yet, but a lot of people, they do really help. They really do help. So what are some things, the ones I'm going to go through this fairly quickly, because a lot of the things that you can recognize when your mental health is declining are very similar to symptoms of depression. You're going to find very, very similar. But there are things you can ask yourself, okay, once every couple days, every week, something like that. So first is, are you more irritable? Are you more emotional than usual? Okay, I have found myself once or twice here on YouTube. I was telling this person I was on the phone with this morning that there have been times that I will be talking to someone on YouTube and all of a sudden I think I've pissed them off or something. And I start feeling myself getting more emotional, and I'm just building it up inside. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I do? What did I say and everything? So then I finally end up just asking them and then finding out, oh, okay, it was all in my head to begin with. I never did anything to start with. And, but I was starting to feel that. I was starting to feel this emotional drain on myself, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. Well, that was a symptom to me that something was happening that I needed to address. Okay, next is sleep issues. Okay, are you finding yourself sleeping more, sleeping less? Is it disrupted? Okay, of course, if you're on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or anything, turn off your phone. That does help. And but when we're finding our mental health status changing, a lot of times sleep is the first thing that's going to tell us that. And also, if you start seeing that change, everything true crime, I overthink everything. I'm horrible at overthinking things. Oh my gosh, I'm horrible at it. Next, are you having changes in your appetite? This is one that I find with me when I'm starting to really get, and it could go either way. Sometimes I just stop eating because I'm just busy and I don't think about eating. But other times I actually do because I'm starting to actually feel depressed, or I'm starting to feel a little bit, I'm in my head too much. So I'm not thinking about taking care of myself and feeding my brain by giving it the correct food and stuff like that. Or concentrating. Okay, maybe you're finding yourself having a harder time concentrating on things. Okay, and sorry, got pups behind me again. And, but so are you starting to recognize you're not remembering things? Okay, that's a big one for me. I don't remember things as quickly. When I'm having issues, I will definitely start recognizing that I don't think as quickly. I do not, and usually I think pretty quick. I'm pretty akamai, as we say out here. I'm pretty on it. But when I'm starting to feel a difference in my body, in my mental health, I will do that. Are you isolating yourself? This is something I have heard. How many of you guys that I talk to on YouTube on the side and chats say, sorry, I've kind of pulled away. Yeah, I found myself pulling away. And what do? We all contact the other person. You okay? Just want to make sure you're okay. Okay, how many of you guys in chat have done that? You found yourself contacting your friends on YouTube because all of a sudden they've gotten really quiet, and you just all of a sudden you're like, hey, alien. And you find yourself like, are you okay? I just want to make sure you're okay. Because what starts happening as we feel ourselves pulling into issues, as our mental health status starts declining, a lot of times we will pull ourselves back. Sometimes it's for good reasons. It's part of our boundaries. Okay, we've talked about boundaries here. But sometimes it is just we're pulling into ourselves. It's not just the people online. We're also pulling away outside. Okay, our family, our friends, things like that also. And then lastly is, do you lose that feeling of joy that life gives you? Think about when you're having the most amazing day in the world. Just everything is going awesome. You get that feeling of joy, that feeling of excitement, of light in your body. But then things start happening. Now I'm going to turn it towards when we get into all of our drama and bullcrap and stuff like that here on YouTube. You start feeling yourself getting dark. You start feeling everything slowing down. You start feeling this really nasty feeling here. And it just doesn't feel right anymore. Nothing really makes sense anymore. And all of this starts to come together. And so, yeah, recognizing those things. Alien, yeah, not really on you, but in general, yeah, all these things. Sometimes it's within everything, and knowing where we are, okay, and knowing, okay, you just found out a friend of yours is bingo. Things happen in our lives. We're in a great mood. Things are awesome, and then something comes in from the left side, just hits us, and it can change things for a while. Okay, Siren, you start reaching out for help from your friend. Siren's good. You know what? We develop our really good friends, and we know those friends will be for us. Okay, they'll be right there for us when we need them. Okay, and it's back and forth. We're there for them, they're there for us. And that's what it is. So, couple things I did pull up. Oh, let me pull this down so you guys can see it a little bit more. What is going on here? Let me do this. Okay, there we go. So there's a couple things, and I know, sorry, this is a little smaller than I thought it would be, but these are some things every day, every couple days for you to think about. Okay, kind of a check-in, because it's important to do these check-ins. Okay, one of the things for asking yourself is just, how am I feeling physically? Okay, what do I notice in my body? Am I feeling that? Because I find when my mental health is changing, there's also change in my body. Maybe I hurt more. Maybe I'm more achy than normal. So are you starting to feel those things? Okay, are your muscles tight? Because if you're having a rough time mental health level, you may also find yourself tightening up, tense. Think about after a long day of a lot of stress, you're tensed up the whole time, right? That tenseness just builds up in your shoulders. Okay, any of you who've ever been to a massage therapist, they're going to tell you, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I could tell you've been stressed out, yeah? So asking yourself that on a routine basis, asking, am I being kind and compassionate to myself? Okay. Don't depend on other people to do it for you. If you can't be good to yourself, how is anyone else going to be able to be good for you? You've got to be your closest friend first. And when you're doing that, then you can help other people. And that's what I tell people all the time. People will be like, oh, I need a little break now, or I need this or that. And it's like, you need to take that for yourself, because you can't help other people if you don't take care of yourself. Alien and all, massage, trust me, it's worth it. Go on to Groupon, see if you can find some discounted ones in your area. We literally had 2 massage days when we were in Disney, just because our bodies were hurting so bad. And oh my gosh, it was the best thing ever. Okay, Disney was awesome. The massage was even better. So, do I need a break from from screens? Now, this is our social media. This is our YouTube one. It is so freaking hard to take that break. I remember before I went to Disney, I was like, how am I going to stay away? And the first day I tried not to. I was literally the first day standing in lines at Disney, checking out. Oh my gosh, what's going on here? Oh my gosh, I got to get to the community page on this. Oh, look at that. I got to make a comment. I can't hear. I actually was literally wanting to bring my earbuds so I could listen in line. We got to take those times for us. So my answer here, do I need a break from screen? Hell yeah. But there was a part of me that there's truth to addiction to YouTube. There's a freaking truth behind that. And I thought it would be horrible, especially when I realized I missed probably one of the craziest weeks, it seems, in a while. And, but you know what? It felt so good. There were a couple times as I was going to sleep, I'd start listening in and I'd fall asleep. Taking that time helped me. It helped me find a new set of balance in what I was doing. It allowed me to come back and really be a good friend to my friends here. Okay, so it definitely something there to be able to pull off. Next, have I made an effort to connect with others? And I think that's the thing. For many of us, especially a lot of us who are very, very introverted, we tend to not, when things start getting rough for us, we cut people off. Okay, we kind of pull internal. Everything becomes internal. It's easier to be internal. So if you're finding yourself not connecting with people, you're trying to do it all on your own. So like I said, when I triggered that one time and I found myself going into Discord and saying, guys, I'm having a really rough time. I did not need anyone to reply to me, but just knowing that I was not alone made the difference. And yes, gang, in chat right now, those massage chairs are super duper expensive, and it's one of my wishes too. Yeah, I've always wanted one of those also. They're the best. So have I shared how I'm feeling with someone else? So this ties with the last thing. How many of you guys, let me just ask this, put a 1 in chat if you have friends, at least one friend that you know you can go to if you just are not feeling like yourself. If your mental health is struggling, if something's going on in your life, do you have at least one person that you know will drop what they're doing, text with you, talk with you, whatever? Okay, it's the hardest thing to find, that one person, but when you find them, it's awesome. For those of you, I didn't think I'd ever find because I was such a freaking introvert. But I found them. I found them. And that's what I'm talking about with the great side of YouTube. There's plenty of people out there who are willing to truly be your friend. They're not there for the drama's sakes. They're not there for our views. They're not there for all that. They're there for you as a person. It's just finding them. And in some cases, just like Alien said, it's someone in your 3D area. It's the same way with me, Alien. My mom, hands down. I got an issue, like I said, when the day comes that I lose my mom, I'm going to be a mess. Because she is who I lean on. She's the one, yes, I want to kill her one moment, but the next moment, I mean, it's awesome when you have those people, a husband, a wife, a best friend, someone you can talk with, and looking for that person. On the other hand, you have to trust yourself. I don't know, for those that might not have that person, I know the hardest problem I had with finding someone other than my mom to fit that was trust. My mom I had to trust. I grew up with her. Of course I trusted her. Hell, she's seen me at my worst. Finding someone else who I didn't know and allowing myself to trust them, allowing myself to let them see me at my worst, that's the hard part. But once you're able to do that, it makes such a difference. It really does. Next, how has your sleep been? So look at yourself. Look at your body. You can't have good mental health if your physical health is also suffering. They do go hand in hand. Because if you're having rough time mental health, you're going to find certain things for physical health are going to be hurting. You're not going to be eating correctly. You're not going to be sleeping well. Okay, all those things, you're going to find those changing also. Is there anything weighing on your thoughts? Okay, that's one of the reasons why I asked everyone, what do you do to take care of your own mental health? So is there something that is upsetting you? Whether you find it out by journaling or talking, or hell, even a friend telling you, hey, are you having problems with this? Because sometimes we can't figure out what it is. We just know something's wrong. Joan made it. Hey, Joan, welcome, my dear. Sherry's here too. Oh my God, oh my God. I am a very happy camper right now. I'm such a happy camper right now. And so what's going on? Is there something that's upsetting you? And one of the greatest ways to know if it's affecting your mental health or not, can you write about it? Can you talk in your head about it? How can you deal with it? Because if you continue to just have the same issue and not address it, it's going to continue to be an issue, yeah? Okay, when I lost my dad, for example, if I wasn't willing to talk to someone about losing my dad, how the hell would I have ever gotten through it? You have to have that. Mrs. Portland, like you just said, severe nightmares. Having people you can talk to, because a lot of times our dreams truly are our body and our subconscious trying to explain something that's going on. I've actually done, I don't know how many of you guys in chat have ever done dream journaling. Okay, you wake up and you write your journal out, or you wake up, record yourself saying what that dream was, because you're going to forget about it later. Then you can start figuring out what it was that was upsetting you. What is it that's going on in your real life that's leading to these dreams? And last, have you acknowledged your efforts? Because so many of us aren't willing to tell ourselves we've done a damn good job. We're hard on ourselves. Okay, everyone else can tell you what an amazing job you've done. And, but how often do we believe ourselves when we tell ourselves, damn, you did good on that today. You reacted to that situation a lot better than I thought I would do. We don't do that. We'll believe other people, but we don't believe ourselves. So that mental health check-in of just allowing yourself to believe that. So couple things I just want to, last before we go into a bunch of phone numbers I wanted to leave you guys with. And some mental health reminders. Okay, things for you to just keep in the back of your mind. Okay, number one, Mama Jane's back. Love you, my dear. Number one, you are not defined by your thoughts or feelings. If you have certain thoughts come into your head, if you feel a certain way, that does not define who you are. That's a part of what you're thinking. That's all. Number two, pain is inevitable. This one's a hard one. Pain is hard, whether physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Pain is hard. We hide from pain. A lot of people are scared to create relationships with other people because of the pain. Okay, getting into a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever you want it. Okay, I don't want to do that because what if they break up with me? Then I'm going to hurt. And oh my God, that's going to hurt so bad. I've been through that again. I really don't want to go through that again. Pain sucks. Okay, but pain is what allows us to truly feel joy. Because if we haven't felt that end of the spectrum, you don't realize when you hit the other end of the spectrum. Because everything is the same. We're gonna feel the pain. You're gonna have those times that hurt. You're gonna have those friendships that fight, and you're gonna want to cry and stuff like that, but you need to just, it's fine. You're gonna survive it. You're gonna survive it. It's not gonna destroy you. Maybe you'll be stronger in the end. Next, everyone feels not good enough in some capacity. Everyone in chat right now, put a 1 in chat if you feel like there are people who are better at stuff than you are. I'm putting a 1 right now. Because I'm always saying that someone else is better than I am. Okay, I never feel good enough, it seems, at times. There's certain times in my life I truly don't feel like I'm good enough at something. And yet, how many times I expect some of the names popping up here. Okay, there's part of me thinking, oh wow, I never thought that person felt that way. We all feel that way. We all don't feel like we're good. We all have our demons. Every single one of us. Okay, next, just because you think it doesn't make it true. Yeah, unless you're Frank, of course, Elizabeth. And also, hey, Christola girl. And just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. Just because you think so-and-so doesn't like you doesn't mean they don't like you. Like I said, I have called people that I've known here on YouTube, especially here on YouTube, because you can't understand the thoughts and the emotions behind words that are typewritten, and that's it. And so I call up these people because I think they don't like me. And they're like, what the fuck? Huh? Okay, just because I'm saying it to myself doesn't mean it's true. Let yourself know that. Keep reminding yourself that. It's so hard, Christola. It is so hard, yes. I am the worst at that. I'm horrible at trying to tell myself the bad of everything involved with me. Next, and this is something I think a lot of us in here can remind ourselves of daily if you need to. You are not what happened to you. You are not your childhood. Okay? I am not what happened to me when I was a kid. And oh yes, Cherry. And I am not what happened to me back then. Yes, it has given me strengths. It's helped make me who I am today. But it is not all that makes me who I am. There's so much more that makes me who I am. The positive, the negative, all those things help create the person I am today. They help make you who you are today. If you had a rough time as a child, it helped give you the strength that you need to be stronger as an adult. Think about how much stronger you are today than you would have been if you had never learned those lessons. It's awesome. There are reasons why we're given these things to have to go through in our lives. Next, it's okay to need help from others. It's fine. How many of you guys right here in this chat I've gone to and I've talked to you? Okay? Yes, Crystal, exactly. We all do those things. We ask people, are you mad at me? Are you upset at me? We're all doing that. On the other hand, it's also totally fine to ask people for help, to need help. It's totally fine to need help. We're all going to need help at some time. Okay. I had someone, from this channel at one time who subs to this channel say to me, You're helping me so much and I never help you. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yes, you do. You help me a lot more than you ever realize. And there's sometimes you're going to realize you're helping, and there's sometimes you're not going to realize you're helping because it's something that I'm not even telling you about. But you're making a difference for me. And last, mental health struggles are not not trying hard enough. All of us have our struggles. All of us push forward. Okay, we do not struggle because we haven't tried hard enough. We do not struggle because we're bad. We struggle because we're becoming stronger. We're recognizing things. You know what? I'll be honest with you. The more I struggle, the more the lessons I learn, the more I realize there are more lessons for me to learn. Because it's like, as I solve this thing, I realize this that I never realized was there. My eyes open up to it. And so many things we can, thank you, Mrs. Portland. So many things you can really do with that. And one of the things I am going to do this week, and I'm going to share this with you guys before I share this last bit. Many of you guys know I have a Discord. I haven't done much with it, but this week I have a bunch of questions that I'm going to start posting. If any of you like to journal, whether it's public or private, okay, as long as I know people are doing something with it, I'm going to post these questions in the Discord. Okay, you can put an answer. There's always going to be homework, Sherry. You know it. There's always homework. And also, we're going to put those questions in there. Do what we can with them. See if they help us. And all. So if you want to join Discord, there's the information there for Discord. You can also let me know and I'll get you. I'll also try to cover it on Facebook. I have the Facebook page if any of you guys want to do your homework on Facebook. Because homework's always fun. I hated homework growing up. Yeah, what can I say? The last thing I did want to share with everyone, and I'm going to take down this information in just a second. Here, let me see. So many times, all of us who do modding or whatever have phone numbers we share. Yeah. If you're dealing with substance abuse, here's a number. Here's this, here's that, whatever. Asking for help is good. All of us have times we need to ask for help. All of us have times we need to research. Sometimes you're not asking for help, you just want the research. So here is, let me pull this down. Here is a freaking long list of a bunch of different issues that come into mental health. I'm sorry, most of these are US only. I apologize. I'm a bad girl. And also, please, I'm real quickly, okay, I am going to post this one slide to my community page for everyone. We've got eating disorders, suicide, substance abuse and mental health, anxiety and depression, schizophrenia and related disorders, treatment for BPD, borderline personality, attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder, domestic violence hotline, Sidran Institute, the International OCD Foundation, the Trevor Project, General Crisis Text Line. This was something I had never heard about, but it's just a General Crisis Text Line. You text that number, okay, 749-749, and you can get help on any of the issues that you have. The National Alliance on Mental Illness, and then RAIN, which is the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. I'm going to post that list onto my community page. So during this week, because especially if any of you guys are, hey guys, come here. If any of you guys are joining with the homework or doing anything of your own at home, sometimes issues do pop up. Sometimes we start thinking about things and it brings up more stuff. And having someone to talk to. Sometimes you want someone that doesn't know anything about who you are and makes it easier to talk to them. So I will share that with everyone. And so now that we've gotten through this whole thing, please, again, like I said, join Facebook Discord, and we will be doing Cantina tonight. And if anyone, I do say this each week, if you have anything you'd like to talk, whether it's talking about tonight's discussion, whether it is another subject, alien, exactly. We have a lot of people that have issues that are family members. Okay, and maybe it's a subject you'd like to see discussed here, because like I said, a lot of times I only talk about issues that I know I've dealt with, but I know there's so many issues that I don't deal with, but I'd love to know more about. Okay, please consider sending me an email, letting me know. For those of you who follow for the missing people, if you have a subject, someone that you know needs their story told, a runaway, anyone, please let me know so we can get their story out. Because that's important to so many of us here in this chat right now, is to get as many of these stories told as possible. And also, so please send me an email. Like I said, we will be doing Cantina. Cantina is going to be starting 50 minutes from now. I am going to start limiting Cantina to about 3 hours. Cantina will start 6 o'clock my time, which means it's 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And also, I will be posting the link for that in just a couple seconds. As soon as we finish this up, I'll go take care of that. And we can have fun. Like I said, we work hard during this hour. Now we get to play hard. So, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. I really always enjoy hanging out with this and going through all these issues. So, midnight Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Darren. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. We can go way too long for Actually, part of the issue is I have to do, my brother's coming back from Europe tonight. He's been in Europe for a couple weeks. And yeah, I got to get a couple things ready for him tonight. So I'm going to hang out for a couple hours and then we will go over to either Jet's Mom's or something like that for the rest of the night. So, okay. Lookamai, can you post the links to Mod Chat, please? Yes, I will. I will post all that to Mod Chat for sure. And love all you guys. Mahalo for staying and listening in and sharing, because I know a lot of you guys share during this. And all I'm going to say is this. The fact that you guys are willing and open to sharing means something to me, because it means you trust this group. You trust and you care about this group enough that you feel okay sharing. So thank you. So, and Mrs. Portland will be going live later again. That's awesome to know. Perfect. So I will be posting the link. I will see you guys soon. You want to say good night, my dear? Pia says night night. Good night, Pia. Oh, okay. You can sit right here. Oh, you're going to burp. Nothing like a dog burping. Okay. Talk to you guys later. Love y'all. See ya and see you soon. Bye-bye.